welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Hillary Mulick, a wedding photographer and educator, and today I'm going to be talking about posing your couples. I've had a lot of people asking about this content, and so today I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek on one of my biggest tips to posing my couples, whether it be an engagement session, anniversary session, general couple session, wedding day, whatever. This trick works for everything. Before I jump in, I wanted to share that if you're not already following me on Instagram, you definitely should. You can see my profile right here. I share lots of behind the scenes of all of my shoots, as well as behind the scenes of me and my life, and I'd love to have you along. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. The link is in the description below. All right, so this is my biggest tip when it comes to posing and getting multiple images. So I'm gonna share a tip on how I get multiple variety of images out of just one pose. And it can be any pose. So what I do is I set up my couple in a pose. It can be anything. You can do something standard like them facing each other, arms wrapped around one another, and looking into each other's eyes and smiling. So what I'll do is I always like to work wide and then get close up. And that's how I'm able to get so much variety of images with just them standing there in that one pose. And this is also a really helpful tip when it comes to a wedding day if you're short on time and you want to make sure you're providing a variety of images for your client, but you just don't have a lot of time to put them in multiple poses. So let's go back. They're in that one pose. I'll start wide. I'll tell them, just hang out right there. I want you guys to just look at each other and nuzzle each other, just have a quiet moment together. I step far back and I get them in a big scenic shot. I'll do a couple different compositions where they're in the middle of the frame, the side of the frame. I'll do horizontal, vertical, but I'm getting these all really wide. And I should also note that I have one lens on this whole time. I usually shoot with my 50mm 90% of the day, so that's the lens that I have on my camera. So I get that. Then I get in a little bit closer and I'll do a crop of just them. So just like a full body portrait of just them. I'll have them turn their heads, look at me, smile, get that crop. I'll go in from like waist up. I'll get in a little bit closer, look at me, nuzzle each other. I'll get that crop vertical. I got that same crop horizontally. And then I have them look at each other and nuzzle again. And this is where I get in close up and get these details. Now, a big part of my business is telling a story with each couple. And that story is not going to be told if I'm just giving them a million just standard portraits of themselves. A story is told in the details. So I make sure to take this time to photograph the details. So they're standing there just nuzzling into each other. I'm going to creep around to the back side of the groom and maybe the bride has her hands on his neck. I'm going to get a ring shot right there. I'm going to get in close, get in a nice profile of them with their noses nuzzling and them smiling. I'm going to get a detail of the ruffles on her dress, or him holding his hands around her waist. I might have him bring his hand up and rest it on her cheek and get a close-up of that. So there's lots of little things that you can do to change the pose a little bit without having to move them completely. And I'm able to get probably 15, 20 different images of this one pose without ever really having to move them because I started out wide and I worked my way in, worked my way in, worked my way in, got to the tiny little details such as her ring and their hands and her hair and her jewelry and whatever he's wearing, his watch maybe. And that's how I'm able to get so many photos out of just one pose. So that's my biggest tip for you guys on how to get a variety of images with just one pose. And I'll show this to you on my computer with some real images as well. So take a look at this. hope that was helpful, and if you're interested in seeing more behind the scenes of how I work with my couples as well as photography tips and tricks, make sure to follow me on Instagram. Again, here's my profile here, and I'll link it in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next time on my next YouTube video.